Even as I speak, we don't know whether Senzo was murdered by a legal firearm or an illegal firearm. That is my starting premise. And that is a scourge in our society amongst many others that has to be addressed and to be eradicated. My address did also not proceed, Mark, from the premise that we must target legal gun owners and that it would be squandering state resources to do so. I proceed from the premise today that we have legal gun owners, as you quite rightly say, mostly law-abiding citizens, and you would recall that one of Safa's strategies was that we continue to support the strengthening of legislation. But we've also highlighted, I think, here I find common cause with Mr. Wood that it also doesn't help if we don't have the capacity to do so. We can have first world-class laws, but if we don't have the capacity to monitor them, to supervise them, to implement them, and the use of data is not open and transparent, then that's also not going to help us in resolving because clearly there's a problem. And in fact, it's something that was raised, I think Toko and Adele was also on the committee. So we had outnumbering Wood here today.
Conspiracy.
It's clearly a conspiracy which I'm quite happy to be party to. But one of the things, I forget the point now, but I'll get back to it. So it's not about targeting illegal gun owners. I mean, clearly there are other deeper issues. There are people, nameless, faceless people, who are running guns in the townships, who are selling guns. They are rogue police or former security police, men and women, who are using guns that they had under the previous regime, and they're running these guns. You know, personally, I think the first time I touched a gun was when I went to study in the States in 1991, and I was staying with an American Cuban of all people. So for that cocktail, you can imagine this guy is like really dangerous. But he gave me his Magnum. I couldn't even hold a thing like that. I had to take it with two. It's the first time I touched a gun. So I come out of a community where we never used to know guns. Our community never knew guns. It is a relatively, if history is relative, it's a relatively new phenomenon that our community has been flooded with guns. I know as a boy, used to have a little knife, you know, they used to prod you like that. But guns is so it's been flooded, and we need to get to the root cause of that problem, and it's clearly a policing problem, and then that raises the issue of police intelligence. They know who's running the guns, they know where the shebeens are, they know who's selling the tick, they know who's selling the mandrakes and the drugs, but somehow they're not being apprehended by the police. It's not rocket science. These things should be. Yes, I think why the Senzo and Safa highlighted the Senzo gun law is clearly because it's to form a coalition around a person who was famous and who was well known. I would like to also call a gun law after my cousin who was shot and killed. But here it's something that you can identify with and that you can coalesce around it, like Reba Steenkamp, you know, because of what happened to her.